So this tip is Derek Slater sent this in, and this is so I tweeted this morning like, hey, I'm looking for a tip. That when he said it, I didn't believe it would work, but it does. So what you do is you, if you are in anything that can type, so let's just say you're text messaging. So I'll go into my text message, and I will text message my daughter. All right, so anywhere the cursor is sitting here, if you go up, if you put it up to your head, so if you start typing and go, hello, I just want to test the text on my SMS. There it is.
Just by putting up to your head, Siri launched the dictation.
It wasn't, yeah, Siri was the dictation. So the dictation worked just by putting it up to my head and starting to talk. And I find that you do
that. So you can finish it.
You're just like, oh, I can't keep on typing this. Blah, 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 blah. You know, but that's all you hear it? It was like, wait, hold on. See, if I pull it up here, no, it's still waiting. Anyway, so I thought that was a great little tip. So anywhere your cursor is sitting, you can just put it up to your head and just start talking. You don't have to hit the little microphone. That's what I always did before, is I'd hit the microphone and you just start talking. It's just there. So anyway, that's my tip.
Good tip. Just put it to your head.
Just put it to your head.
See what happens.
Put the phone to the head and pull.
And now it's time for, actually, you know what? I'm going to, instead of doing a pick, I'll do a quick tip. And it's actually, in a way, a news story. There's been a lot of conversation about how the fact that you no longer have a save is in Mountain Lion.
That one's
save
important.
as.
Yeah, that's an important news item.
Good article in it's MacPerformanceGuide.com, where he points out that, yes, there is a workaround. We've mentioned it before. Hold down the Option key for the... So let me do it in Pages, because Pages is one of the programs that lost its save as.
Not that I'm bitter.
Well, but I'm going to point out something. But anyway, so there's no save as when you... let's create a blank document here real quickly. New document. Okay. You can see I haven't used Pages in a while. There we go. That's not me. But it could be. Maybe next year. But you see, there's no save as anymore. If you press the Option key, save as appears. But here's the most important thing to understand. It is not what you think it is. If one edits a document, this is from MacPerformanceGuide.com, and chooses save as, then both the edited original and the copy are saved, not only saving new copy, but silently saving the original with the same changes, overwriting the original.
Well, because that's what it does. Well, it's iterating it, so it's not really overwriting it. It's adding to the iterations.
It's versioned, right?
But people may not understand.
The only way to handle this would be to, as soon as you open your document, save as, and then keep on going, knowing that.
Right.
Now, I have to point out
the difficulty is that I think Apple arbitrarily decided that here is a way that everybody expects save as to work. We're going to have it work differently from now on and not make that monumentally obvious, which I think is just an obvious mistake.
But what they have in place of the save as, right below save in Pages, is duplicate, which to me is kind of
a lot of extra.
Is that not the same?
I know, but it's just like it's duplicate. Now, do you want to revert it? Okay, I want to revert it and then duplicate it, and then I have to save as again. I mean, just a whole lot of steps for I want to save one more iteration.
Well, I think duplicate is more of an explicit fork,
right? But isn't that what you use save as for?
No, I use it as iterations. Like I don't want.
Yeah, you're forking it now.
But I don't want it. I don't want it to iterate everything. I want to say this is where I want to keep this document. I want it at this state.
Duplicate will do that.
Yeah.
I know, but it's a lot of steps rather than hit save as and then
it's one step. Duplicate. Now I've got
the difficulty for me is that an app like Scrivener,
now I have to save it.
Well, not only that, it's duplicate. It's usually do you want to revert the file you were in before. What happens a lot of times is I'll use something as a template, in Numbers. I do a lot of stuff in Numbers, and so I will take an old quote that I did for some other company, and I'll start working on it, and then I'll realize, now I have to duplicate and revert. So it's not just duplicate. I want to duplicate and revert the one that I had because that was somebody else's quote.
So you went too far down the road. I started using it as a template, and then, well, that's different. You're using it wrong.
No, I mean, it's just...
You're holding it wrong.
It's just save as worked great.
I'm just pointing out that this has changed, and you should be careful when you use save as because the behavior is different. But if I go to File, so I've created the first version, right? And now I go to File, Duplicate. It doesn't do the same thing as save as. What it literally does is creates on a screen a copy, which you could then rename to the second version. Now I have two versions, and that's kind of what I was expecting. It took one more step than Save As does.
Yeah, I don't think Apple should be really faulted for creating a versioning system that I think maybe needs to be tweaked. I think that they should have understood that over the next year or two, we might have to modify how it works as we adapt to how people are using it. For me, I really wish it worked the way that, for instance, Scrivener's version of versioning worked, where you can actually take explicit snapshots and name them, as well as doing the automatic backups. Because the way that I work, I want to say, here's the point in which I got a 4,000 word column. I know I got to cut it down to 2,800. I'm going to take a snapshot of the original and say, here it was, but with all the flab intact, so that if I ever need to rewind it back to a specific point, I don't have to guess as to at what. I don't have to try to guess. Okay, it was a Monday. I think it was an afternoon because the Maury Povich show was on. It was one of those baby shows. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. It was Oprah, but it was like the Oprah's next. Oh damn it, which one was it? That's not not easier than simply rolling back to an actual named snapshot.
Right, like you, I have very specific times that I when I do a destructive edit, or I'm about to do a destructive edit, I'll save something. Like that's what that's where I want to remember to go back to if I have to. And it's not like I want to do it every time I make a change. So anyway,
it's just I'm saying this as a warning. It's kind of like when Apple changed the scroll. It's like they're doing it differently. And sorry,
and then you had to be upset until you figured out where to go in preferences.
But the main thing is, once you learn this option, Save As, to not assume that that's going to be the same as your old Save As was. It's still not the same.
Right.
That's my main point.